Hey guys, how's it going? Oops. Hey guys, how's it going? Good afternoon or good evening, whatever time, or good morning, wherever you're watching this. So, first off, let me congratulate you guys for taking the first steps to an interest and hopefully getting you guys settled in an IT career. So, we're going to talk about how to break it into an IT career. So, let's start off by celebrating the success. And for you guys that are listening right now or listening early, I'm gonna give you guys a tip. So go to villit.net and subscribe or go to our YouTube channel. I have so many free tutorials and so many freebies that will help you start with your computer or technology career, programming career, whatever it is you choose in technology. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's start off. Is an IT career right for you? So one of the things, if you want to make it into IT, you gotta like computers, or you gotta at least be determined to learn about computers and learn to like them. Um, sure, I personally sometimes I don't care for a computer. It's running slow, it's being stubborn, and it's kind of a pain. So you don't have to love computers like you don't have to be like I love all computers. No, because not all computers will play nice with you. But you do have to have some kind of interest and passion and drive in order to be successful in this field. So it's definitely a must. So let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to go use this Firefox ESR. So I pulled this off. You can do your own research. I would definitely suggest doing your own research because guess what? A lot of the stuff that involves a lot of the meat of being an IT professional is that you're gonna have to research a lot of things. No amount of schooling or books can prepare you for what you're going to encounter in the real world. So definitely suggest getting familiar with Google and other resources. So let's start off with what does it take to be an IT professional? So you definitely and I'm not going to agree with all these, just giving you a heads up. So you definitely need to have excellent analytical skills. So you got to be able to analyze like your situation, your problem that you encounter. You got to make sure that you're able to break it down because a lot of these computer problems, they're pretty complex. And a lot of the times the users are only going to give you a small amount of detail. So they're not going to tell you exactly, hey, this is what's going on. Um, I know like down to the T what's going on, and it's like, it's you're not gonna know down to the T. But let's go ahead and let's get started. So sorry, let's go to the next one. So you gotta have an attention to detail. So what attention to detail means is that there's so many small issues that can happen, and these small issues could create a big issue that it's noticeable to the end user. So the slightest mistake can affect how a web page looks or how a program runs. So a good one is whenever you're using, let's see, whenever you're typing code. So uh, this is, by the way, this is Kali Linux. It's like a pen test. So okay, let's do this. Oh, I am so bad. So, all right. So this is a bad example of code. So I only pulled out what is this right here. So we can see that there's code right here. So this is a listed item right here. This is strong, so this just gives us that bold field. So we can, and there's a break tag right here. So it's kind of old school web, but you know. So and this ends the listed item. So any alteration, for example, I'm a little bit more comfortable with Chrome, but if we were to change this to just the listed item, we will lose the bold tag, so this wouldn't stand out. So that is the attention to detail. And it's definitely a commitment to learning. Technology moves so fast. It's definitely constantly changing. So you got to make sure that you want to learn. If you don't like school, then you're going to have a hard time. And it's going to be very hard to keep up with the latest technology trends if you're not really into a learning because it's definitely but I believe so let me just cut myself off. I believe that everybody that has a passion for something is able to continuously stick to this. So they should be able to stay interested in, computers. They should be able to stay interested in programming. So if it's something that you really like, I suggest giving it a go. So go ahead and do some contract work or something, or volunteer for a project. I'm pretty sure that you're going to find out whether or not you would like to continue learning and pursue this as a career. Good communication skills. It's definitely one of the must soft skills for any kind of job. I don't care if it's technology. It's just a good leadership skill to have to be able to communicate with people and let them know exactly what the problem is because whenever you identify a problem, you're gonna want to make sure that your teammates know what exactly it is that is going on, or especially when you communicate with vendors, you got to make sure that you can communicate with users like, hey, today for some reason, for today, like today, I rebooted a server that wasn't connected to Active Directory. So just make sure that whenever you tell users, you got to make sure that you're able to communicate. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna reboot a server. You know, okay, but what is it gonna cause? Like, they're not gonna be able to log in if I reboot the server. They're not gonna be able to they're not going to be able to access their reporting functions. So you just got to make sure that you can communicate. It's definitely a must. Now, number five, this is a myth. So you don't have to be a mathematician to be good with IT, with technology. It's just you don't have to be a mathematician. It's just we're not solving for x, we're not doing quadratic equations. It's nothing like that. Yes, having some kind of math background will help you out when it comes to programming and other things that require some form of mathematical expertise. But for everyday general use, you don't need to be a math expert. You need your basic math skills. I mean, everybody needs basic math. But no, you don't have to be some kind of mathematician. It's not needed. Computers are here to do that for us. So definitely I would disagree with this. It just depends on what kind of field of computer science you're going into. So the ability to learn and memorize programming languages. Um, I say that's not a must for everybody. But knowing some degree of programming and scripting will definitely come in handy, especially when you're doing administrative work. So whenever you hit the tier of network or system administrator, you're definitely going to want to know how to program because automation makes your life easier. And ability to handle multitasking. I don't know if you've been in an IT room or anything, but these IT guys have a lot of TVs that are just open, and they're not sorry, TVs and monitors that have a lot of information. Whenever I used to work the help desk, we used to have a TV that had, how many calls were getting in, how many calls are waiting. We also had a TV that indicated how many sites were online, how many sites were down. So it's definitely one of those things where you want to make sure that you can multitask. And I had like on top of that, I had two, three monitors that were open, and there was just so much information. Sometimes I'd have a call, and sometimes I'd have another call, and I'd have to put this guy on hold. I'd have to talk to a vendor. So you definitely have to have some kind of multitasking ability. So definitely want to not harness, but hone your skills with multitasking. Solid problem solving skills and troubleshooting capabilities. Troubleshooting is definitely, I don't care if you're an engineer, If you're software engineer, if you're level one technician, or some kind of installation tech, you're going to need to have solid troubleshooting skills because a good 85% of the time something's going to break. I mean, it's just the way it is. Things break and that's what we're here for. We're here to fix those things. So that's a good 75, 85% of the job is troubleshooting things. And even when I was installing network equipment or IP cameras, we had to troubleshoot. Sometimes those IP cameras wouldn't come up, and we had to troubleshoot. Hey, this is a layer one issue. The cables aren't making contact, or it's layer two, and you got to make sure that you are able to have that analytical approach to have a solid troubleshooting foundation. Technical writing skills. That's definitely something that you want to have. Um, why? Because you're going to send a lot of email reports. You might have to escalate, and you want to make sure that you're able to list out, hey, I did X, Y, and Z. I need you to do A, B, C for me. So you got to make sure that you have those technical writing skills and are able to communicate efficiently and even document some of your findings. Definitely something important. So Versa versatility. So the most successful computer professionals will be the ones that have skills that extend beyond information technology, such as skills in business and finance. And that's whenever you become more than just, hey, I know about computers. You got to know how to communicate with certain departments. Um, Business and IT are so close together. So you can't just know about computers. You got to know more. You got to know if you're in manufacturing, for example, you got to know the manufacturing process and know what equipment is essential to the business. So, for example, you might have some kind of like weird, quirky application that's running, and let's say for some reason one of your computers that is doing some kind of production work, it goes down. You got to be able to prioritize between, hey, this is just somebody's Word document versus, hey, this is an actual production server that is down. We can't transact anything. So definitely, you got to have versatility to know uh, what's what business essential programs and services are versus non-business essential, and what is the best steps to take. So I totally went in so much detail for that. If you want to know more, follow our YouTube channel or just hit up villait.net and we'll have all the information that you need to get more information. And we'll definitely give us a like if you're just finding out about this page. We're definitely going to try to put more content out that will help you guys. So let's go over. I want to go into more detail, but I just want to go into types of IT jobs. So IT jobs are definitely what I like to call two tiers of IT, and that's IT infrastructure. So let's go ahead and look at IT infrastructure. Um, so IT infrastructure, let's look at Techopedia. Definitely you want to be good with searching. I like to use Google. You can use Bing, but for me, I find that Google is the one that gives me the best information to look at. So, IT infrastructure is the infrastructure that refers to composite hardware, software, network resources, and services required for the existence of an operation and management of an enterprise IT environment. So, whenever you deliver IT solutions, there's a backbone, there's a road that gives you the ability to deliver these services. So, for example, servers, that's IT infrastructure. So, Facebook is the application. So, that'd be the software that is running on the IT infrastructure, which is a Dell R7110. It's just the IT infrastructure. So, think about like the engineering, like the civil engineering. That is what I like to consider the IT infrastructure, like the roads and whatnot. Um, so hardware servers, computers, data centers, switches, hubs. So that's definitely hardware, and software is part of the IT infrastructure, such as Windows, but there's different layers of software that I like to consider. Um, I'm going to go into more detail about all this, and maybe if we make a network administrative course, I can dive deeper into this. But right now, for abstraction, I want you to consider IT infrastructure as the roads and kind of like the buildings. I can probably go into more detail about that, but like I said, this is just an overview. So that would be hardware network, the network. So how like the internet service and the operating systems such as Windows, or as you can see this Kali Linux, which is really cool for security. Um, and there's also software. So let's go into software. Software I like to think as development, such as the development of an application, databases, which would be something like Oracle or SQL servers or any kind of storage, data storage, and application specific tasks. So, um, application specific tasks. So, for example, we had a specific application that ran on Red Hat Linux. And just give me a second because you're going to hear my dogs. So, hopefully, the dogs aren't super loud so can you guys hear that? Because it's probably annoying. But I'm gonna let those dogs do their thing and we're just gonna ignore them and continue. So for example, an application that's very specific would be Autodesk Maya. So that's definitely something that you wanna that you would have like a application specific vendor or somebody that's like specifically trained in using Autodesk. Mostly engineers are gonna use that, so that's definitely something that's gonna be application specific. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna turn the volume down because it's kind of annoying. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put this down for 1 second. And if you guys are patient, I'm gonna have so many good things for you. So, all right, so it's done. I calmed them down. So let's go ahead and move on. So we already done software, so there's another thing that we can talk about, and that's something that is very trendy right now, and it's security. So let me go into IT security. So, oh man, I am so sorry about these dogs. Sometimes I just want to give them away, but I'm too nice. So, security. So information technology security. So cybersecurity. Whatever you want to call it now. It's just the protection of your infrastructure, your data integrity. So there's definitely a lot of it's a broad field. So it's definitely something that is somewhat new. It's not new. There's always been some form of security, but now that all these data breaches are in public eyes, it's definitely something that people are more concerned of, and it actually has its own dedicated field versus security just being network specific. For example, so back in the day, security was just specific to whether you were developing an application or if you were engineering a network. You had some kind of, your network engineer had some kind of security on his mind. Now you can specialize in security so you can secure not only your applications, but your network. And also the protocols, the day-to-day protocols that you do. Like, for example, don't save your password on paper and leave it on a sticky note somewhere in front of your desk. So stuff like that, that's things that we kind of don't consider that are fairly simple. Um, but it's something that, has its own field, and there's also cryptography and more science-based security fields and aspects. So that's something that I can go into detail, but I really won't talk more about this in this introductory introduction video. So I'm just talking so much theory, and might have lost some of you guys. So thank you for hanging on if you're still uh, seeing this video. let's talk about the best way to start. So, the best way to start, um, the best way to start is to look at a job and see what they require. And if you guys saw the other video that I posted last week, I did look into I did kind of explain how to look at a job and see what you could get and what skills are required for a job. So let's look at IT technician, IT technical support. So let's look at something more simple. So to be honest, what you want to do is get like a very entry level job. So let's go look at cable technician. Okay, so let's just audiovisual technician. So entry level cable technician. So I usually suggest starting with these jobs because they're so easy. There's so many to get. So if you're already in a job where you get paid more than this, um, don't go for it. Don't take a pay cut. Definitely don't take a pay cut. But um, this is I'm trying to look through all these, but usually they have some form of entry. But let's talk about certifications first. So I would suggest getting two certifications if you really want to be taken seriously, or just have one. So if you're gonna go for one, this is very general. It's a CompTIA A plus. You take two exams. We can talk more about the certification, but if you go to certification.comptia.org, you can get the information on all of the certifications. But this is just kind of the universal um, certification that everybody has whenever they're trying to break into IT. A lot of experienced IT professionals don't have an A plus. There's some that don't, and that's because they already been in the field. So companies that use A plus, so it's Intel, Ricoh, Nissan. Oh, I didn't know Nissan used A plus, so I'm gonna go apply at Nissan now. Just kidding. So HP, Dell. So a field service technician. I've done some field work. I've traveled around, and I definitely, if you like to travel, some companies are big enough that they send their field technicians all over the world or all over the states or wherever it is that you live uh, in your country. So definitely is a fun position. Support specialist, that's what I am right now. So I support pretty much all of our IT infrastructure. I'm involved in that, and usually, whenever you're a support specialist, you specialize in a certain like aspect of IT. Unfortunately for me, we're a small company. I have to specialize in a lot of things, but I like it. Desktop support analyst. It's a little bit more analytical. You kind of break down problems, kind of like a tier one and help desk tier two support. Realistically speaking, you're not going to start off at tier two, but they just try to make their certificate. Um, they just try to advertise their certificate. So it's definitely something that these job titles are probably not realistic for, your entry level. You're probably going to start as a break fix or something. But let's look at this. So we're going to look up for IT field service technician and warehouse IT coordinator, field service technician one. Okay, so um, if I if you don't have like some kind of high school education, I would definitely recommend getting a GED. Um, it's not required to take the A plus, but whenever you apply for these jobs, they're gonna expect, at least the entry levels are gonna expect some a GED at bare minimum. Some might even require an associate's degree, and if you can go for your associate's degree, definitely go for it. I know, I know some people might not have the resources and time to get an associate's, but once you get positioned in a good job, you should have some time and resources to be able to continue your education. Like I said, continuing education is a mantra of IT positions and professionals. Definitely you must continue on with your education. Um, Basic mathematics skills, yes, we know. So technical trade school training. So, like I said, so A plus would consider the technical and trade trade school training. Um, Experience with FDA regulate. So this looks like it might be a little bit. Looks like it's actually not IT. So let me just exit out. But as you can see, you got to be able to have some kind of analytical skill to even look at the jobs that you're applying for and break down exactly what your day to day is. Sometimes if you're lucky to get a call back, ask them, hey, what does your day to day look like? So experience level 2 IT technician. So this is a little bit more than, there we go. So remember, we're looking at entry level. So if you're already in the field, this might not be too much of an eye opener for you, but I definitely want to help those that are thinking about getting their first IT job. So, key responsibilities. So, initiate, handle, and resolve phone calls, emails, voicemail chats, web forms, and in-person requests for our customers. So, you're going to be a customer facing, so you're definitely going to be busy. Provides professional communication, both so knowledge. So that's just pretty basic. Most entry level jobs do have very basic. So you're just gonna be, hey, you're gonna be supporting our users, our customers, and qualifications. So typically 3 or more years of related experience. Definitely look for the ones that are not too picky about experience. Sometimes I would recommend just shooting your resume by if you do have your certifications, just so you can ask. So, excellent time management skills, multitask. Hey, multitask is definitely important. Manage conflict. So, they're gonna, a lot of places, especially when it comes to like help desk positions and whenever you're like on a high pressure environment, they will ask you, how good are you with managing conflict? Because your chances are there's gonna be one person that's gonna drive you nuts. And you just gotta make sure that you remain calm under pressure. So, like I said, the A plus covers hardware for desktops and laptops and tablets. You're not going to be fixing laptops. You're generally, for the most part, most companies will have you RMA a laptop or send it back to your vendor. Or sometimes you can do like small fixes, but you're not going to, disassemble laptops all day unless that's your specific, unless you're doing a break fix operation. Microsoft currently supports Windows Desktop Servers operating system. Definitely gonna want to be well versed in the Microsoft operating system environment. Small business switches, routers, firewalls, and access points. So looks like from what I can tell, peripheral scanners. So like, your computer keyboards, mouse, um, business productivity software. So what it looks like, I think that they provide IT support for small businesses and looks like this is very general. So it looks like you're gonna help small businesses maintain. So small businesses that don't have like a budget for a dedicated IT department usually outsource their IT job, like their IT department, to another company that is better equipped to handle their IT needs. So definitely looks like they they have a very broad, so it looks like this is just IT being outsourced. So whenever you got to make sure that when you go down this list, they're gonna ask you in an interview. So that's like, hey, when was a time that you resolved a Windows 10 uh, machine not being in the domain? or losing the domain trust, the domain host trust. So that's something that, if you just stay quiet, obviously you're not going to get the job. So you got to make sure that you can run through all these bullet points and be able to answer those questions. So back to the certifications. So the A plus is very broad. So they're just gonna teach you the basics, the bare minimum basics, and it's up to you to continue your education so you can find these bullet points. And for example, if the A plus doesn't cover, for example, some of these bullet points like the domain, because it doesn't they don't really cover or go too into detail on the domain and trust. That's more of like a Microsoft certification. Um, Go read. Or visit VelaIT.net because we got the knowledge for you guys. So definitely go search it up, go look it up, go Google it. Uh, Build your knowledge. Like I said, the top 10 qualities is definitely, you got to have a commitment to learning. So you got to make sure that you are continuously learning so you can get those better opportunities. Um, so I'm just going to go ahead and close out of this one. Another certification that you can get is a CCENT, and that is the Cisco Certified Entry Network Technician. And these Cisco certifications are hard. They are very specific and they require you to know very intricate details of networking. I would definitely suggest this if you're going to start off. It looks so good to have this on your resume because it is a tough certification. I will not kid you, I have failed the Cisco certification exam. I haven't failed any of my CompTIA exams because they're kind of easy. I don't want to bash on it, but they're very broad, and they don't require the level of expertise that these Cisco certifications do. So um, if you if you're interested in looking like a pro, even though you're entry, get a on top of your A plus, I definitely suggest getting a Cisco certification. So another one that you would probably want to look into, especially if they're asking you very Microsoft specific questions, um, are the Microsoft MS was it MCSA? So those are the Microsoft certification, and I think this is the associate level certification, so they're a little bit above the A plus, but I believe they're around the same prestige as a CCENT. So let's look at these. So these are certified solutions experts, MTA, I think, associate. Yeah, so let's go look. I think it's the MTA. I think these are like the entry level ones. So I'm looking at entry level positions. Once you guys get situated into an IT job, we can look further into other certifications, and I will definitely be happy to help you obtain them. So explore the certification. I don't know if you guys can tell, but my internet is horrible and I apologize. Hopefully, if you guys are catching the rerun, you're able to assess this video a little bit better. So, Windows operating systems fundamental. So yeah, the MTA. So you need to pass one exam to get an MTA certification. So it's definitely Windows operating system fundamentals. So that's definitely one of the software development fundamentals. So if you're going on a support role, this would probably be the best one because it would show your employer and it would actually teach you the basics of a Windows operating system. Even though CompTIA does touch heavily on Microsoft Windows environments, they don't really go into detail on the really meaty, greedy uh, must knows for real life Windows operations. Um, so that's pretty much it for the basic certifications. If you can get all three of them, hey, you're looking good in the resumes. Um, most most jobs won't even look at your resume unless you don't have an A plus. government jobs. They're very I don't know if they have some kind of contract or partnership with CompTIA, but they like CompTIA uh, certifications. A lot of network or enterprise places like CSIN, and I'm not talking enterprise like the car rentals, like Cisco certifications. Some places are Windows Shop. It just depends. Having all three is definitely going to help you out, but if you specialize in just one, it's not going to hurt you. Um, but I would definitely go over if you have the resources and time. Definitely get more than one certification. So career building. There's a lot of job sites like for example Indeed um, and Monster that you can go to put your resume and you can get recruiters to call you. So at first you're definitely going to want to go through a staffing agency. So um, it's no shame. It's not fun because there's a certain level of uncertainty. But these staffing agencies will be able to situate you and put you in a job, because at first, you don't you want to have a job, you want to have that experience. So yeah, it's not like you're directly hired, but it's a good start. That's where I started because when I first started, I applied to so many different places, and it felt like I was never gonna get hired, and I kind of lost hope. And don't lose hope. There's Robert Half. I know that they're a staffing agency, so they'll definitely be able to find you a job. So it might not be Robert Half. There might be some other staffing agencies. Definitely put your resume out on Monster. Go to Indeed, put your resume out on there. ZipRecruiter helps you apply fast to different jobs. You know, it all it y- so this is a statistics game at this point. You might flood your resume out to 100, 200 jobs. You might not get out of 200 of those, five might be interested, and you might not make all those five interviews. But I guarantee you, out of like at least 10 interviews, you will find one job that's gonna give you an opportunity. I guarantee you that. So do not give up. Um, Another one is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is definitely I can't do it today. So LinkedIn is definitely one of those that you want to look into. Definitely get a LinkedIn going. It's gonna be like your resume type deal for modern day uh, HR and job seeking purposes. LinkedIn is definitely something that you want to have. Um, so definitely work on your resume. If you don't know how to work on a resume, I'm not a resume expert, but I can help you guys. If that's something that you're interested, just go ahead and let me know. I'll try to make a course or something, or write an article on writing a resume. Or you can even go on Google. Like I said, learn to use Google. That's going to be a must. Um, so build a portfolio. If you're going to go into software development, definitely you want to have a portfolio because you want to be able to showcase what you've actually worked on. Avoid extra information. Don't put that you're a stay-at-home mom or that you've been unemployed for 6 months or 2 years or whatever. Uh, don't give more information that you need to. So whenever you're looking at a job, make sure that you're laser focused on. I don't want to look up for another job, but make sure that you're laser focused. Just hit the important bullet points, and if your position is for uh, a field technician that's repairing um, security network appliances such as firewalls or installing firewalls. Don't put, "Hey, I know HTML and CSS," because that's just a development. Those are development skills. You're not going to need development skills for configuring firewalls. So make sure that your skills are relevant and that they're something that can be applied to the job. Um, Resources. So you're definitely going to want to have people like a network or have your networking skills. And I'm not talking about computer networking. I'm talking about your people network, your support groups For example, I want to build a community with the Vela information technologies. So I want to have a community of people that are genuinely interested in their IT profession or programming or whatever it is. I want them to be able to I want you guys to be able to communicate with each other and ask questions, ask me questions, and if I can't answer your question, hopefully somebody else or one of my colleagues that I would invite over will be able to answer those questions for you. Um, One good place that I like to look at is Reddit, and people are like, Reddit, you go on Reddit for professional help? And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I have some questions and I'll go to Reddit, and it's very useful. For example, let's say you're studying for your CCNA and you just don't know, like, oh man, I don't know what to study, and a lot of the guys in Reddit will definitely be helpful. If only my internet worked. So, the IT guy. So I'm using this wireless dongle connection, and it's just horrid. As you can see, I don't know if I feel bad if you guys are actually watching live. I hope that you catch the rerun. Um, oh, those Bird Box memes. Um, if you guys haven't watched Bird Box, this is so random. I'm ADD. Forgive me, please. But Bird Box it's definitely I found it interested. Okay, so actually no. So I looked up CCNA, and there's a CCNA Reddit, and if I scroll down, uh, okay, so the internet just went from like okay to like horrible. Huge apologies once more. So yeah, so this is CCNA. Everything you need to know about the CCNA and our route and switch. Read first. So um, they have like a lot of interesting information. So definitely look into it, and also the users. You can form relationships and uh, helpful get helpful information. But definitely, it's the people that are important. It's the community that whenever you're having a hard time and you're feeling like you're gonna give up, um, making those friends and acquaintances will definitely be able to help you either surpass a certain obstacle or even get a new job. GitHub is another one for people that are going to go into development. So if you're not going to be a network technician or a network engineer, network engineers or network administrators might find GitHub if they're doing some automation. But GitHub is where you can find, let's express. So GitHub is when you can find code repositories, and I can go into like the whole GitHub. It's actually a, it's actually sorry, excuse me. It's actually a tool, but it's actually a tool, but it's also a community as well. So make sure that you're able to use the GitHub community to get jobs or even ask questions. Another one is Stack Overflow. Let me just go back to GitHub because, so for example, this is Express.js. It's a framework for making network, well, web applications with Node. And of course, you have here, and you have, let's see, where is it? You have some commits, you have contributors. Um, so you can actually talk to people. I don't want to put this person on blast, so let me just go and use GitHub. I will go into detail about using this. Um, I will go into detail. If you guys want me to show you how to use Reddit and GitHub or how to be friendly and communicate, I will make a video for that. That's how much I want to help you guys succeed. So there's Stack Overflow. LinkedIn is also a good one, and I already showed you. I haven't logged into LinkedIn, and I don't want to log in right now. but I will make a video on how to use LinkedIn. So for example, so CCNA. Let's say you're having issues with your CCNA, or I'll go ahead and so this is a question. So CCNA IP routing ARP issue. So this guy is having has a question. And there's also Cisco tools and everything. There's a Cisco community. That's the Cisco Learning Network. Definitely one of those resources that you want to take. So which I got wrong. So he asked a question right here, and this guy explained it. So Stack Overflow is definitely one of those things, and especially if you're at work and you have a question and it's just you have a problem that needs to be solved and you can't figure it out, you don't have anywhere else to go. I just gave you some pretty good resources. Um, Educational material. So if you like to code, uh, or want to get into software development, Free Code Camp is mostly for web development, but it's definitely one of those free resources that you can use to learn how to code and help nonprofits. So definitely, I actually am a member of Free Code Camp. I don't really have much time to mess around with it, but it's free. You learn how to code, and it's definitely one of the nicer free environments where you can learn how to code. And they definitely have a community that is very helpful and will motivate you and help you get to where you want to go. And remember one of the top 10 qualities is that you gotta have abilities beyond IT abilities. So you gotta be able to communicate. You gotta be able to talk and be a team player. So there we go. I won't go into more detail. Um, Udemy is definitely one of my favorites. I have so many Udemy courses, and that's because I find so many things interesting. But it's a place where you can buy courses, and for example, most of the time they're on sale. So usually they're like $200 per course, but if you wait, they have sales like year round. So definitely don't buy them when they're like around 200 unless you definitely want to give a certain person $200. Sometimes they're actually put good material out, and I kind of want to give them those $200 because they're so this is like an AWS. They actually have like A plus courses and whatnot. Cisco Networking Academy, that's another one. CBT Nuggets, they're a little bit more on the expensive side, but um, I'm going to try to put. I know that it's very hard for certain some people to access courses because some of the Udemy courses aren't, for example, complete, and some people don't have the money to go to community college and take a course to help them get an A plus. I understand. So what I'm going to do is if you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's Vela IT. So let me go ahead and let's see how good my SEO let's see how good my SEO skills are. And oh my gosh, it's not. They're horrible. So you know what? Just like our Facebook page, look for our YouTube videos, subscribe on YouTube, and I am going to put an A plus certification course and a CCNA certification course. I'm going to make the bare minimum to get an A plus certification and CCEN and CCNA certification available for you guys so you can get started. And I will continue to drop more. I will make a paid area so you can get more detailed if you want to, contribute to the community. And I definitely want to be able to assist the people that want to get started with their careers because if I could talk to myself 3 years ago, 10 years ago, well, not 10 years ago, but at least 5 years ago at the most, I would want to be able to talk to the person that I am today. and I definitely want to help out those who are interested in getting an IT career because it's been a life-changing experience for me. It's definitely has helped me out and created new opportunities for me, and I hope to be able to help anybody else that wants to, you know, have that change or have that financial stability for themselves. I understand that's, sometimes it's just kind of hard, especially when you don't have the financial resources to, get a certification class or go to school, but or even have the time to study, It's kind of hard to study sometimes. Sometimes a job is just so demanding and but let's not think about that. Let's think about the future. I'm going to help you get that IT job and I will help you. I will coach you along the way. And if you guys like this page, subscribe to our YouTube, you will see more videos, more information, more content be delivered to help you guys out. I hope you guys have a great night, have a great day if you're on the other side of the world, and be good to each other. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully, or next week. We'll see. Have a good one, guys.